Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Ayo.
Good end of the world.
Starting in strong.
And how you doing? How is everybody? Paul made me promise not to create panic. But you got to know, Paul, my purpose isn't to create panic, is to
Inform people.
inform people. Like I have fucking answers, right? So today, I think, obviously, everybody's worried about Corona. Some people are over-exaggerating. But before we get to those, it's not okay to share those fucking articles either, I think. There are those articles who...
Diminish.
Yeah, it diminishes the impact. Me and Paul try to stay informed, right? And I think sharing those articles like deaths by common cold, you know what I mean? 80,000 this year, deaths by corona, fucking 5,000 or whatever the fuck, right? Those aren't fair because obviously it's a more dangerous thing when it comes to it spreading. It's airborne, and if the same amount of population, like the common flu virus, the common flu virus, right? That's your grandma has it already, and then when she doesn't, she gives it to your fucking niece, and then she gives it to her mom. So everybody, it's already within the population. So that's why it killed much more people. But if the same virus would have been in the same people that have the common flu now, it would be fucking crazy. So this has a very easy exponential spread rate, and we shouldn't panic, but we shouldn't take it lightly either, I think. So let's address those fuckers that share, and it's like, okay, we have to joke to make light of it, or else we'll go crazy, right? We have to keep the spirit community, the community spirit alive. And I think now is the best time to test all of your bullshit Instagram posts when everybody send love and whatever the fuck. Now it's your test to prove all that shit, right? Everything you'd be fucking sharing from the past years, that's all you have to do now is act on those, right? Like, are you gonna help an elderly neighbor, right? Paul saw this fucking thing on Facebook. He saw this thing where somebody made like a form that says you can give it out in your building, and that form says basically, if you're an elderly person, please put in your number here, and you can call me, and I can do the shopping for you, so you don't get exposed, because of course, elderly people, as we understand, are more susceptible to it. So he shared that.
I shared that because I thought it was a great idea. I don't know if I will
asked
do it.
him afterwards. Well, like, you shared it. You seem almighty now. Are you actually going to print it and go to your actual neighbors?
I don't seem almighty. I just think it's a good idea. And I don't know if I will do it, but I want to contribute and spread it.
Yeah, but it's very virtue signal-y when you kind of share it and you're like, oh, this is a good idea. So basically now you have to follow through and hunt down your elderly neighbors and actually carry those fucking groceries for a couple of weeks until kind of things kind of get a more cohesive sense.
I'll do like 10 from Mrs. X.
Oh, so you're going to just run away with the money?
No.
So basically what you're saying is you think it was a good idea. So if it's like anything else you ever posted, in the past few years, like recycle, right? Or whatever the fuck you posted, you're like, I think it's a good idea. I just won't do it. You understand?
No, I got it.
Why did you share it? I'm okay with you not wanting to expose yourself, because then you'll kiss your grandma and then she might be in danger. Although we should try, right? I just moved into this building, so I don't really know my neighbors. I'm going to go help my old neighbors, the apartment I've been living for 12 years on the other side of the city. I'm going to go get some groceries from those people. But yeah, I think it's the best time to extend a hand. I was thinking, like, of course, now that it's a pandemic, I was thinking, thank God it's not something sex related. You know what I mean? Or else all that fucking inequality that girls are complaining about would have seemed like, nothing. Like, it would have disappeared Once, if it was something sexual, like you fucking whores, it would have been on the woman again. So I'm glad it's easily transmissible to everybody, and but still, we should be. I was thinking that we should be careful because obviously the religious parts are gonna fucking enflower this and draw them and like, oh, it's the time of the pious, and I don't even know what pious means. You know what I mean? They're gonna get all preachy and shit and call people like abominations and fucking people who are less fortunate to not have had a formal education, or maybe it doesn't have to do fucking formal education, but yeah, maybe they'll go towards that. So be good to the people less advantaged too, because otherwise they might fucking search for that help, you know. But now it comes to time, I'm not racist. All this stuff you've been saying online, all y'all. Not say racist. I'm not. Of course you're not. When things are good and nothing's bothering you, of course you're the most perfect person in the world. True test of character, and especially at a global scale, is shown in a time of need. What's your thoughts on this, Paul? I mean, I know we got informed and we're trying to pass it on to the people, but how about you say a couple of words of how you feel about all this?
After today and further exploring this phenomenon, I think it's a time where we will test our social relations. Be it your girlfriend who is a medic and works in a hospital, and suddenly you think, oh, she's a medic, she's susceptible to this, maybe I should break up with her. Or your
Who the
friend
fuck would do that? I mean,
don't know, because you just try to minimize the exposure.
yeah, but what actual? If it's boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe whatever. I've known you 2 days. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess this relationship is gonna happen in 6 months. Sorry, not now. Of course. But what about if it's your spouse and you already have a kid or something like that? Like, you cannot not go to work, right?
Of course, true.
So, and that's another thing I think we should reflect. Like a lot of people, including my girl, who works in an HR company, was sent to work from home, and the economy is going to be affected. I think that's safe to say, including our industry. Like when times are hard, I think entertainment is the first one to be scratched off the list. Get the fuck out of here, you time wasters. And they're right. Right. So, yeah, I think we need to stay active, protected, careful, but active, right? We can't panic. I know we live in Romania and we have an influx of people that work in Germany, sometimes illegally. And so there's a little bit of chaos here, but I think giving into that only will pour a fire on the flame. So there's a lot of to talk about, and we'll be taking some questions or mentions from you guys in the comments. But to start with, yeah, it's cray.
Yeah, but it's kind of normal to be cray. Like, okay, vent it out and be scared a bit.
I'm not saying be cautious, dude. You think I'm not worried? I'm not worried for myself as I am worried, but I'm worried about my mom.
Yeah,
she's the only parent I have left. I'm worried about my grandma. I'm worried about my girl's parents and family, right? I'm worried about yours and all my friends, right? So we have to be cautious. I already told my grandma not to go to the church. It's kind of crazy. I think I understood. I hope I'm not misinformed. This might be bullshit, but I think I heard in the news that the Romanian church is refusing to adhere to the recommendations that they shouldn't hold their sermons, and because it's a crowded space and it might help with spreading it. So I asked my grandma to stay home. She's like an 80-year-old lady. She's a God-fearing woman, right? So she couldn't even conceive of the fact that she won't go to the church. No, it's a small church in our village. It's only 30 people. My granny, just don't go, right? And yeah, right. Like, so very crowded spaces, maybe we should avoid it, but there's not much we can do but stay healthy.
let's like explore more on that.
Okay, so basically, if you guys haven't watched it, please go and watch Joe Rogan's podcast. He brought in what is it? Epidemic. I can never pronounce that word, not even in my own language. A virus doctor, right? And this gentleman kind of cleared things up. So even if you don't have the hour and a half, the dude's there. The gentleman, let's not call a fucking elderly scientist a dude. At least watch the 15 minutes because he kind of makes it clear. Actually, definitely informed us.
I hate. I mean, I don't hate the news, but I think they're doing more bad and contributing to the hysteria more than informing people. So I didn't really watch any news. He told me to watch this video. I was like, at first,
I
but
just didn't want Paul to, like, sometimes he needs to, like, he likes to kind of protect himself, and that's very healthy because if you read all the fucking news, you go crazy and you think the world will go crazy. And we talked about this on past episodes, but in this case, I thought, dude, it's pretty close to home. We already know we heard of a few, like, second or third degree of knowing the person cases, right? So everybody's kind of like one tight, right? You know what I mean? But we shouldn't panic, right? Now comes the time where you prove that, are you going to go to a Chinese restaurant and eat, right? Fucking go. Help the economy if you can. Take it to go. You know what I mean? Now you're not racist because you're helping that person have a living. And I know it's easy to say, and I told my girl not to go to the gym for fucking, like, gym's out. No gym for at least 2 weeks until we can figure it out because it's kind of like exponential a little bit. And as far as I understood from this gentleman on Joe Rogan, probably I think he mentioned conservative results. Like he said not to see this as a blizzard, like a snow blizzard, but more like a winter. So it's not going to be over in a week or two, and then it was back to normal. I think we have to do some changes. I think we'll probably be forced to do some changes. And he estimated that at least for like a few months, it's a vaccine. It's not going to happen anytime soon, and for a few months, at least, this is going to be a whole thing. So, yeah.
I think the part with the vaccine, he said, like, up to 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
so yeah, it's going to change a little bit. Hey, our view's going to go up because people can go to work, so they watch YouTube. I asked Paul too if he wants to continue doing gym. Who am I to impose that to him? But I would rather we work remotely. Just for the simple fact that I'm worried for my elderly family and friends.
So if you don't see me next week, no, you'll probably see me.
You know what's funny, dude? The doctors, like fucking December, these fucking doctors, they ask for like more money and they fucking slay you. These fucking pussies, they never get enough. What the fuck did they know? Here comes the disease. Respect. Oh, that's right. They save us. I know I mentioned my respect for doctors and teachers and everybody, and of course you should instinctively have respect for them, but now comes the time when you stop bitching and you kind of like, because they're on the front line, dude. They're getting this shit. They can't even find symptoms. They screen, legally, I think I read that in the US, at least some of them aren't allowed to quit yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
No, he definitely said something like that.
Yeah. So they can't because they need to be there in the front line. So how about let's give it up for those fucking guys. And this is when character comes in, right? We all live a bubble existence until something like this hit us. And it kind of reminds us. It should be, I'm not going to go into feminism again and all that shit. We had enough for 2 podcasts. But if there would be a war tomorrow, you think all this bullshit will be like thrown at our face? No, dog, it's you and me holding that fucking knife and the other guys on the other side, and it's our guts being split open. So all that fucking sexy, it would have, same here. Doctors, they're bullshit. They never fucking get enough. Now comes the fucking fight. They're on the front lines. Now then you remember, oh, wait, that's right. They have some disadvantages too. Maybe we don't see them. Can draw parallels. But yeah. Let's give it up to the doctors. You know who's going to be popular? you know, because you mentioned this. Ghiță ciobanul.
Yeah.
So, like a hermit that takes care of sheep in the mountains. That's where everybody's gonna go, right? Paul was saying I should just go live there, and
Yeah.
then there's nothing because he's self-sustaining. All he has to do is like do a couple of push-ups, then he eats some goat cheese, then he takes his sheep and his goats, fucking go somewhere in a field. They eat, they shit, they come back home, they provide food, and the dude sleeps again. It might stink a little bit. It's it's in the ground, so there are wolves. There's no corona, and Paul is like, I'm gonna go live there. I'm like, I can't argue with that, dog.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, most of the people won't do it, but if you think about it, you don't have a self-sustaining home or place yourself. You can use it. He can use the help there, and you're isolated.
Yeah, so we'll just go full hermit. Right? Gita is the man now. Everybody was kind of making fun. Like, look at Gita. He has a fucking... No, Gita is the shit now. He has premium, like his property just went up, right?
Airbnb skyrocketing.
Skyrocketing as fuck. That's right. But you know what the sad part is? Gita makes those, grows those... The hermit grows those sheep for Italians or something. You know what I mean? Because we don't own any agriculture in this country anymore, so probably in 1 week after he's all healthy, a car from Italy will come to load up the sheep, and then he got it. You know what I mean?
Mozzarella Romania.
Plus, if you go, you think you're the only one who would have thought of that. I want to go.
No,
it's gonna be like you said, Airbnb, right? So it's like then the virus is there because everybody wanted.
This is too low key. This is too low key and too much of a burden for somebody in the city to do, I think.
You know how thin the layer of social etiquette is when it comes to things like this? I mean, this is why, like, kidding aside, I won't make so stupid jokes during the podcast because what the fuck do we know? We try to stay informed, not panic, and move forward, right? But do you know? I forgot what I was going to say. Because then I thought of something panicky.
This is like audio jungle. We try to stay informed, not panicked. But yeah, Gitza was like, I would go there, and somebody else would think after like a week, since I am being there already, and somebody knocking on the door, and Gitza, who is it? No, shh, nobody, just the wind.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what do you think about the power of our hospitals? Can they handle like 2,000 people?
No, dude, they can't handle it. Nobody's prepared. This doctor was talking about, on Joe Rogan, the same thing. Like, it's nobody's, not even them. Nobody is prepared. At least here in Romania, there are people who work illegally in Italy, and they could not afford. They were in the area they're affected, and they could not literally afford to go to the hospital because they're illegally working there. So they just came here, right? And I have a straight example. So a friend of mine, she's pregnant, so she has a baby, so she's in maternity leave. So she hasn't been to work in 1 year, right, or something like that. But one of her whole company is in quarantine. Why? Because two things happen. One, it was the case that was confirmed in Romania, and she was on, I didn't understand if it was the same plane or she knew the person, but one of her colleagues knew the person. And the second case, and referring to what I just said, one of her colleagues, another colleague's brother, came from Italy, and he was working there illegally, and he went through another checkpoint that is not the usual one for Italy, where they screen people. He said he was coming from Greece, although he was working there illegally, and he just showed up at his sister's door, exposing her whole family and everything. And now he's in Romania, and he had no checkpoint and no nothing, and he's coming from that zone. And I'm sure this is just one case I personally heard of. I know through 2 degrees of knowing somebody. What the fuck? Many thousands? So we're a bit uptight here in Romania, and I'm sure the situation is way dire, but we shouldn't panic. Should be just worried for the weaker ones. This doctor said that children, they can get it, but they're not symptomatic. So out of all
until 19. years old.
Yeah. So young people up until 19. They couldn't explain it. Joe Rogan asked him. He couldn't explain it. He said they don't know that they don't have that answer yet. But kids, they get it, so they can go to the kindergarten and get it, but they don't have any reactions, and they just go home and give it to their parents, right? So that's partly a good news, right? Because at least the kid won't have any symptoms, so it won't kill him, and he can get rid of it for whatever reason. But at least kids can get it, right?
But let's because when I watched the Joe Rogan podcast, I was just skimming through to see what can we actually do to like prevent getting it. So let's tell
There's not
him.
much you can do. I think he said.
Yeah,
It's basically it's just staying healthy and
be fit.
be
Don't
fit.
be obese, because obesity.
Yeah, I think it affects people with obesity. The doctor said it affects older people who are also obese or have heart problems or are heavy smokers. They have a stat for that from China. What else did he say? Probably he said, realistically, a lot of us will get it. And what kind of like eased me a little bit of what he said. And he was trying to be as honest as possible with the risk of maybe creating a little bit of worrying in people. But he said, if you get it and then you get rid of it, then you build antibodies. And he particularly mentioned that after you build those, you can pass it on again. Maybe I didn't understand because they moved from subject to subject. You guys should definitely see it. But it passes through you. You get it. You develop antibodies, and then I don't understand if you don't get it anymore, or if you get it, you are more likely to fight it off because you already have antibodies.
And you don't. You're not so. You don't give it to others so easily.
Yeah. You don't transmit it to others. Again, he didn't specify if it can't be 100% whatever, right? But yeah, he said all these things, masks or whatever. Like the only thing. We know this from other like crises, right? But masks don't help much because it's airborne. You just can breathe it. He doesn't have to cough on you. He doesn't have to touch you. So it's way more viral. And yeah, the masks help only if you already got it, and maybe you give a chance somebody in front of you to not get it because you're not breathing. But he says the side things, if it's just air, the other person expires. We have to be careful.
So basically, just avoid really big crowds and be healthy, not obese. Get in shape, eat healthy, and that's about it.
Take some vitamins, I guess. Nothing is proven to work yet, and it's we have to be careful. We have to be careful, but not panic. I'm supposed to go to Barcelona in a couple of weeks. My girl is destroyed and I didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's okay to like kind of let your girl face truths at her own pace and not force them down her throat because she'll hate you for it. She kind of like shoot a messenger type of thing. You know what I mean? So about last Thursday, we bring up Barcelona. She's like, there are no cases there. We're going. I'm like, of course we're fucking going, baby. You want to see Barcelona, right? Then it comes the weekend, and it's the first confirmed case in Spain. She's like, this is nothing. We're going. You just have to be careful. Wear masks. I'm like, definitely going, baby. We're fucking going. No doubt about it. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, they confirmed the case in Barcelona. Or was it a death? I can't remember. Same thing. She's to my right now, and she's just like one, right? Just one. And then she again like, she was kind of like tripping a little bit. Like kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of boring. Maybe if we're very careful. And today I didn't have to say nothing. She's like, I hate that we can't fucking go to Barcelona. I'm like, of course we can't fucking go, baby. Are you crazy? We weren't gonna go. Wait, what are you crazy? Like, we were never gonna go, but I'm glad you got to that conclusion yourself. We have to be careful. I also have to, like, I could even fucking work today, man. Like, we didn't do much work today. Fucking conciliere, right? Gotta get some projects done, but we couldn't. We had to, like, kind of, like, dissect this and kind of talk about
Process
our work environment, and kind of come up with a game plan. So it's more of a slow day. Um,
By the way, do you know how many times I wanted just to put my hand on my face and I actually didn't? I was like, up here maybe on the neck. Every time we want to put your hand on it.
I'm a fucking dumbass, dude. I'm just all over the place. It has to do with people who have an addictive personality. Of course, they're gonna be more slobs. I have an addictive personality. I know there's people out there. It's not that you're dirty or not hygienic or stuff, but it kind of makes sense. You kind of go for the pleasure instantly, right? Because that's what your
Instant
personality states,
gratification.
and it's never enough, right? And if you draw a parallel to like I have an itch in my eye and I'm inside a supermarket, my brain just like I'm gonna satisfy it, so I just fucking
I wonder
start
if
digging
this is
inside my
okay.
eyeball.
Like doing this.
Most definitely not okay.
Why? Because you're basically using the inside of your T-shirt, which is theoretically
Listen, dog. I'm not sure how much washing your hands will help.
it will.
But if the idea is that you have it on your hands and then you go and reach as soon as you enter a building or whatever the fuck and you have access to a faucet, you wash your hands thoroughly. It's because you don't get the chance to kind of leave that on any surface that you'll touch it in the future, right? That's why you have wet wipes. So if you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the
If you
inside
touch your
of your
fucking
T-shirt.
thing and then you wash your hands, then it's on your
No,
shirt, then you're
'cause
gonna scratch.
It's like this. You
Yeah,
touch it on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's on your shirt, and then you wash
DIY.
your hands, and then you go like this, and then you put it in your mouth while you eat from the cantina.
I don't know, but I for sure wash my hands more. Actually,
More than
feel
who?
the urge to
More
go
than
and wash
before?
my hands. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So don't be slobs.
Yeah, wash your hands. Wash your hands.
I'm not sure how much that's gonna help.
But
I'm
the
afraid
dude
that
said
eventually,
also.
the gentleman mentioned that the best case scenario is what I think 80 million infected by the end of 6 months, right? So 8 months. Was it?
Let's not throw numbers if you're not
I'm
sure.
quoting him. Okay, he said 60 or 80 million, of that I'm sure. So it's around that number. Infected and about close to a million, I think it was 700 conservative deaths. So that's almost a million people just in the next 6 months. No reason to panic, but let's take care of our elderly.
Yeah.
Our more diseased people. Try to help them out as much as possible. I think that's what we can do. But also be careful around them. You know what I mean? You've been to the supermarket. Hey, let's visit Granny and give her a bag of bananas. Don't fucking visit Granny, motherfucker. Not just yet. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's delicate. It's delicate as fuck, and I'm still processing it. But all I know is I'm not panicking. I'm trying to take it as how it is, and if it's meant to be, it might even kill me. You know what I mean? I get a common cold. I fucking stay in bed for 2 weeks, shivering and shit. I'm weak.
It will not kill you. And by the way, Alexandru Dineci, yes, we are live and this is not recorded.
Yeah, what's up, dude? So the podcast every Wednesday, live from 8 p.m. ish.
Do you live under a rock?
Yeah. Haven't you spoken to our other fucking 30 viewers? How come you don't know of this? Another good thing for this is an excuse to be healthy.
Yep.
But also crafty. Because I now more than ever want to go to the gym again because I want to get my body up. I asked my girls to get some vitamins, right? Found all sorts of excuses, and I had a few injuries and shit that I really, hindered me. But now I wanted more than anything, and I can't go to the gym. So I think me and Paul will just do stretches every morning before we start work.
I told him if I will not go to the gym anymore, at least like 2 weeks from now to see what's the situation, I will get this motherfucker and do some exercises because
Yeah,
I just got the ball rolling. I don't want to stop.
fair enough. I understand that. So we'll do that's why you gotta get crafty. You do triceps on the fucking bed.
The bicep curls with towels
Yeah.
like they do in prisons.
Yeah. Fuck. And also cooking, dude. Like we, when it's time for lunch, when we break for lunch, Paul usually packs the lunch. Sometimes he doesn't, but a lot of times we go to the cantina, which we have a cantina downstairs, like a umpinja tava, you know what I mean? And hey, I never fucking. I'll speak Rome English in every fucking language I want. Should we go there? You know, I mean, people come in contact with that. There's a lot of people who came there for lunch today. It was kind of like wild, wild west, a little fucking bush.
I was like just laying on the wall, keeping like distance.
Yeah. Yeah, but you did it subtly, so nobody felt bad. That's what I mean. Not don't be careful. Just don't be like, you coughed, fuck you. Burn him. Uh-oh. Okay.
Like this. Dab. Dab.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to just use like clippers for everything to open doors and shit. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
What do you think about the closing of schools? We mentioned earlier that
Dude, fuck schools. You know what I mean? Fuck schools, because Paul is in he's still in college, right?
master degrees.
He's doing his masters. And he's like, they're closing fucking the universities, but they're also closing the like gymnasium and like high school. And he said that so worryingly that I thought it was so cute, because I sometimes forget he's 10 years younger than me, and he finished high school, what was it, like 4 years ago? 3?
4, I think.
Right? And it kind of was like, nobody gives a fuck. Let them fucking not stay in school. That's not the fucking people with jobs that pay taxes and make the ball rolling. That's who we should be worried that they can't get to fucking work. Fuck the kids. I mean, don't fuck the kids. Education obviously matters, but if somebody used, to be worried right now, and it was so cute because he was worried, like, university is not a big deal because I'm doing it and I'm also working, so it's cool. But he remembered his fear of missing a class from high school or gymnasium where you take the shit way more seriously, and you should, or else you wouldn't be fucking learning because you're distracted, way more distracted as a kid, right? But it stayed with him. That's what I thought. It was cute. It was like, oh, dude, you think university is okay, but like gymnasium, kids missing like a couple of months is going to be the end of the world.
I said it in the way that young people, as you said, don't have any symptoms, but they spread it. So it's good that they stay at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fuck kids, and that's what I meant by fuck kids. Like, fuck kids. If you're more likely to just be a walking non-symptomatic fucking disease transmission, like, fuck your education. Have YouTube. Watch Sort of Chaos. I'm sure you'll learn something that we also heard.
But I just received an email like 2 hours ago that from the 16th of March we will start the courses again, but online. This is like, yes, ma'am, I'm paying attention. How would they do that?
But thank God for that. And Paul had this mentioned, right? But thank God we do have the luxury, be it a double-edged sword, but we do have the luxury to kind of keep at least the service industry kind of like not completely deteriorate and fall right now, which will help the overall economy because we have the ability to communicate. My girl works in HR, right? So she does HR for other big companies, recruiting, right? And if there was no Skype, she wouldn't have been able, like, that industry would have crashed. But now, at least for the people that still kind of are in the game, she can still earn a pay and keep the economy moving. So thank God for technology.
And also
I know I usually piss on it, and it might be our demise anyway, but thank God.
Also just communicate with others, with your
loved ones.
Ones, yeah.
They're far away, definitely. Fucking spoiled, dude.
Yeah. Never thought that I will leave, like, that I will tell my kids or grandkids to, like, that I've been through something serious in my life.
Dude, it was with the mad cow disease and what was it, aviary disease? I mean, you're probably like 16 or whatever the fuck. But
7.
God damn it, I'm old. But, it felt real to me and people were panicking then. But the death toll and the acceleration of which it's much more exponential. It has a much more exponential rate right now. So yeah, I guess hopefully we'll tell it like it was an obstacle where humanity came together and overcame this, no matter of nationality, race, or religion, or what you have in your pants and how you use it. Hopefully, we'll tell that we came together despite these differences that we choose to dissecate and choose sides on to make ourselves feel special. And now is our chance to feel special by contributing. So have a little bit extra money. Don't buy a fucking can like a cunt, right? Like you'll know when there's a quarantine and stuff. You have, stay, keep your ear to the ground with scientists, not just media, because media will fucking easy on the Facebook, I say. And now is our time to kind of like come together and prove all this shit. That's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah. What else do people say? Let's talk to the people a little bit until I had a few more ideas to kind of like flesh out, but go ahead.
Smokers are the most affected by the virus.
Oh, I know.
Schools are now just a place where parents leave their kids when they are at work. Most diseases out of China are outcomes of private animal agriculture that the Chinese government allows to run without regulations. The people gotta eat.
What was the other one, the first one?
Schools are now just a place where parents leave their kids when they're at work.
Are now? What's the fuck? I feel like it has a snarky, tone to it, or maybe I'm just...
yeah, maybe just a bit.
Like, what the fuck's wrong with that? Listen, dude, you can't have equal rights. It would be funny if it was a woman, but it was probably a dude. What's the handle?
It's a dude.
It's a dude, yeah. We can't have fucking ladies fucking sharing the costs of living and being independent and having also careers, right? And also before it wasn't the case because they would handle the kids at home. Now somebody has to take care of the kids, so there's no shame in that fucking jumping in that fucking kindergarten and hope they learn something while you try to raise enough money for their Harvard degree. Of course, we can't let that be an excuse for being absent parents, because I know it's easy and it's a slippery slope. Said the guy who has zero kids probably, but I can empathize, right? But yeah, it's okay. Well, not today, obviously, not now. Keep them home right now, but you're also home, so yay! We can talk like this, and God damn it, if you are in that case where you're just dating a girl and you're not moved in together yet and everything is crispy, VR is the new future, dog. You can't go to a concert anymore, so you'll just mark my words, like VR is the future. It was the future up until now, but now it's really the future. You're going to be just seeing spectacles and shows in VR. I had a fucking request from one of my friends who is a dancer to honor their shows, because every show was canceled. They wanted to live stream the show for the people who already paid for the tickets. And I was supposed to have that shoot on Saturday and get everything ready and stuff. And guess what? Even that was canceled today. Not even the group that performs the actual play, right, won't get together and for me to film it. So that's why I'm saying it's going to affect the way everybody's earning a living. And but yeah, VR you can. And it's too bad we didn't, everybody was making fun of the flashlight. Look who's laughing now, motherfucker. If you just met this girl and you want to have VR sex, you put it on, she's there. It would have been good, like a flashlight, you know what I mean? Like the male dildo where you put, and it does everything. It would have been cool. It's your girlfriend, you can see her in 3D, and then you feel something. You were laughing at flashlights, motherfucker. Now, I received one as a gift about 12 years ago. It was like a cheap imitation. It was just like a rubber thing that you put your dick on. I used it once and decided my hand was better. Sure regret throwing it away. No, I'm kidding. I live with my girl. Don't fret, people. Don't fret. Don't panic.
Be cautious. That's all.
Yeah, be cautious. Be cautious and accept some realities are going to change. Don't take it personally. Stop yelling out the fucking word rights left and right, because in times of crisis, you really see what your fucking rights are. And a lot of it comes down to shut the fuck up and wait for instructions. And you can't blame that, because it's easy to read a wiki fucking article, but when it's knocking on your door and nobody knows, then you're humble up a little bit, because you don't know and we don't know. We're speaking out of the ass, and maybe that gentleman on Joe Rogan didn't particularly know that well, although that's his fucking expertise, right? And he's been doing this for years. So yeah, let's I'm not here to practice what you can do, because I obviously don't fucking know more than you do. I'm here to preach, try to be better for each other, assume the risk, don't be fucking caveman, like go out in the park and walk your kid or take your girlfriend out for an ice cream or something. Maybe not ice cream, you know what I mean? Somebody just fucking touching the cones every time. There you go, little Timmy. And then you'd straight on lick it, like not even joking. But you know what I mean. I'll probably avoid concerts. Definitely won't go to the gym.
Because we will do exercises here.
Because we will do exercises here.
We will.
Listen, if this goes on, would you guys like to, like, even if it's not...
Oh my God. How did you do that? It's so hard to do that.
I'm sorry, a lot of people, when they come here, they sit in this seat and they fiddle with this thing and eventually it slips off. What the fuck was I saying?
Probably if they want to watch some workouts.
Yeah. We can do workouts. We can do live workouts, dude.
Sort of chaos workouts.
Yeah. And we can be stupid about it. Paul had this idea back at our old studio. We used to have one of those Nerf baskets, and we kind of like every break we take from working on our clients or whatever the fuck, we just went there and shot it. And he had this idea just to bring one here too and kind of live stream our rituals and our daily games, which we don't have anymore because we don't have a basket anymore.
But because you don't want to stick things on the walls, because the lady will be upset. But tell me if this is a good idea.
Are we out of sync, dude?
No.
I feel like we're out of sync. Like video too. Or maybe that has a little bit of delay.
But to put the basket on the, how do you call it? The stand?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. The technicalities of it. I told him not to, or won't do it because it's stupid. But it's, now people have some extra time. So I guess it's our time to shine, motherfucker. You're going down. Now we have a taller apartment, and my jump shots have a lot of arc to them. So now my percentage is going up.
Maybe. We will see.
You think the phrase "you're tripping" because of the social status of the implication will be changed into "you're coughing"? Oh shit, you're coughing, dog, you're coughing.
I hope not. I hope not.
Can we agree on one thing?
Mm.
If you're in like a supermarket, like in the past week, if you did have to cough, like just a little bit, you pushed it back.
Yeah.
Not to worry people.
I even went to take some blood tests, because I do it like once every half a year.
Some girls fuck them without a condom. Translation.
All sorts of blood tests, not only that. and I was like wearing a mask because I thought, why not? And the lady looked at me like, why are you here for? Like.
Yeah. She was suspicious as fuck.
Yeah. But then I was like playing it cool, like I'm chill as fuck. And she was like, okay, I'm chill as fuck too now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's, you mirror so many things, because you guys can bullshit the bullshitter all you want. It's okay to have your cool. Let's make fun of it too, but to a point, like not to a point where it's denial. Like I said, all those posts like this and like be informed, right? But what are you talking before?
This is how we do
I
it.
think I over concentrated my cigarette.
With the taking blood tests. The lady panicked.
Oh yeah. I was saying how you can bullshit the bullshitter all you want, but if somebody in the metro, like you're cool, right? And then somebody just starts screaming like, "Oh, we're all gonna die," and all this shit. No matter how cool you are, you get a
Yeah.
little bit of shiver on your back because we were used to mirroring, and that's where you have to keep it cool. Right?
We're social creatures.
Obviously,
Let's help each other, not
we are the world. We are the. And what's the second verse?
people.
People. All right.
Make a better name.
I want to read. I never open Instagram messages or whatever the hell. I don't have notifications on Facebook messages, but now I opened one because you tagged me. And I also have these one requests, which never, I have to go to requests. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck. So this guy wrote me this message. I have read it. I want to read it. His name is Gokul13S. Gokul Suji. I'm not sure. I'm fucking up your name, dude. You look Asian. Sorry for my pronunciations. Let's see what you had to say. Hi, dude. Can I ask you a question? Do you get compliments or criticism more? Which one do you get more often? Just curious to know. And by the way, I agree with most of your work and support them as much as I can too. But you seem to face a lot of criticism, even though you spill facts. I'm not sure I've spilled facts that much, man. I also say a lot of stupid jokes, and if you just tune in and just have a tidbit, people are gonna make an impression. Like I said a few podcasts ago, I grow on people, but you start off with look at my stupid face. I get it.
About the facts thing, quote, it's more fun to do psychology if you don't have a degree.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I said. Yeah, it's funner to just bullshit sometimes. That's where humor comes from. If you have a psychology degree, right? People expect you to know exactly and diagnose them. If you know you're stupid, but you've been passionate and fascinated by sociology and psychology, like I have, then you can just say stupid shit, make people laugh with you or at you. And if you stumble upon a moment of wisdom and you share it, then you seem like a boss because you had a low standard to start with. You know what I mean? You weren't no psychologist. So yeah, I love doing these podcasts, but I offend some people. Tough shit. If they get to know my content, they see it's coming from a good place. I definitely wished I had more support, even from the people who do watch me, but I get it. There's a lot of content, and maybe some just got fed up with the whole Romanian situation. Depends on how you took it. I explained the situation, but yeah, I don't always say the facts because mostly you choose sensitive topics and overreact a bit. Yeah, sometimes I overreact a lot to make points, like the abortion episode where I started to kind of describe. Paul is going to link it here in the edited episode, right? But you can click on it. But I started off with like a monstrous thing, right? I started off with, "Hey, baby, come here. What's your name?" Like a guy was flirting with a girl, and then and also I built the music creepy with a instrumental track from Atmosphere, and then I kind of make the reveal saying that speech that I'm actually on with a little girl, and I'm this like sadistic fuck. I try to put myself in the mind of what a guy who rapes little girls says and how he kind of works his manipulation, because I have my manipulation techniques, but that gets a bad rep. It's your ability to contrive people in situations. It can be done for good, it can be done for bad. But yeah, so I started that episode with that, and then I kind of like as a pre-intro, and then I kind of brought it back to Alabama not allowing abortion and all that shit. But if you just watch those 50 seconds where I'm like, yeah, let me come here. All I want is to shoot my fucking load in your little body and all that shit. I exaggerate because it creates contrast and it brings the point across. So I think I'm an acquired taste because you have to actually give me some space to make my points. And I'm down in the dirties. Like I don't like general things that much. And if you're gonna look at the devil's in the details, right? So if you're gonna go deeper on a subject, you're gonna have to allow it time. If you just decide to hate me, fine, I'll be your fucking hates boy, whatever the fuck. But yeah, to bring it back to you, it's I do wish I had a little bit more support from my people. Hopefully, with enough consistency and enough work from me and Paul, we'll have it. Until then, it's just you and me and Paul. Um, just a little smiley face. Still, shouldn't be criticized so much. There's no seeing the point, dude. So please keep doing this. Thank you. Don't stop it because of these ignorant people. Because you know people like you are pretty low and countable on fingers. Shit, maybe you're Romanian because that's a Romanian phrase, right? Maybe you're just of Asian descent. I mean mostly about the feminist shit. Oh, you mean the past episodes, of course, because we're just talking about this. I know you got supporters in the others, but please excuse if I'm over talking. It's 2 a.m. at night and I can't sleep. I feel it, dog. You know I have insomnia too. And most of them are funny and nice. Thank you, dog. I don't get much comments anymore. Many messages that much anymore. I used to get it when my show was banging in Romania to the level it was, right? And part of those comments were pretty gnarly. Nowadays, I do get a lot of nice messages. Usually the people who take the time to write to me write messages like this. Sometimes they criticize, they give me suggestions, which are always welcome. And I feel if you're snarky about them, I'll tell you. It's no fucking... I don't open them that much, though, anymore because I wish we had time and the money to do this full time, and Paul could have handled Patreon and the comments and actually provide a more stable connection for me speaking with you guys. But as it is, I have to protect myself in a way, and I can't read it. The ones I do get, yes, especially now that I restarted strong, and even like a year ago, all the episodes I made on all sorts of controversial issues. I not only have to deal with the fact that YouTube is flagging every word if it's a controversial topic, even if it's in the benefit of talking about it to improve it. Like I did the abortion episode that had a point. The ladies should choose, but also men should be careful because they have no rights if a girl lies to them when they take a second day pill and then they trap them. So I brought all that thing. I don't get in trending. I don't get because I don't. And the second reason is we talked about it last podcast too, is because I have a potty mouth. And again, it's a thing that you can not like me for. Half of the time I think I'm using the word fucking just as a pause to get to the next word until my slow little brain can figure out the next word. I think because being attracted to the New York, Boston stand-up comedy scene from growing up, listening to so much stand-up comedy, I think I got that fucking a little bit of a Brooklyn kind of so yeah, if you hear me fucking potty mouth. So I don't get algorithms for that. I don't get, the whole thing. I don't get much exposure, but I'm fine with it. The gnarly comments I get and I see, what the fuck can I do? If you don't get that it's when I'm joking, if you don't give it the time, fine. Let me be your hate token boy. Hate this stupid ginger face. I would too. And maybe go to somebody that inspires trust in you and get that same information from there. There's not much informations and lessons to be taught on planet Earth, I believe. I feel like 90% of the lessons are written down in theory, not taught, but they keep forgetting. So basically same concepts in psychology and sociology and all this shit, minus the internet and the speed of which we are distancing from each other while getting closer on screen, right? But these are lessons that will be retold in different ways through different people who inspire each other, and then they have their own point of view. So fucking let them hate me, and maybe they'll watch Joe Rogan or somebody more informed who they have in their corner, and they'll be like, yeah, this guy informs me. Good. Inform yourself. If you're acting the way, like a decent person will get along on the street, so fucking hate me. And so no, to answer your question, and I'm ending with this comment so we can address the people watching live. I do get some hate mail. I get some encouraging ones too. When I make a more controversial episode, like you saw, I had like fucking 400 dislikes and like fucking 200 comments in just the first week of just mostly just go fuck yourself and die and all that shit. Forget about. What are you gonna do, right? I'm still trying to enjoy the freedom of expression while we still have it. Hopefully we will still have it. Yeah. let me talk to the people. Tell me some comments.
What mixer you have on the desk?
This is the Rodecaster Pro, the third mixer, the third Rodecaster Pro. Not because they're stupid, but because our old studio, and the reason why we moved to the new studio is it had very bad electricity, and it fried two of them. That was the reason why we were off from. We started this podcast in the summer, and we made like 3-4 episodes, and then we got the second one, and we were trying to stay positive, and the second one burned, and I broke my hand, and then a few other fucking areas of my body like getting stiff. I got a bit depressed, and embroidery didn't work because I needed to catch up with some clients, and now finally we're back. Rodecaster Pro, definitely recommended. Don't worry that I said we had 3. It's a very excellent tool. It has, besides the fact that it has onboard effects, right? I can do a live demonstration, right? I have this boom in my voice, but if I turn off the effects and the noises, and it has a de-esser, so I'm saying a very strong right now, but you don't hear this hard because this has a de-esser, it's called, right? It has a compressor, so it brings even my low voices and my low mumbles with the high ones and make them more tight. It has a noise gate, so if we shut up Paul right now, no noise, but if we turn off the noise gate, well, if you don't have headphone ones, you might not notice it, but there's a little bit of hum. And if we turn off everything, 1 2 1 2, this is how the raw recording of this microphone sounds, and it's an amplified microphone. We'll have the videos, the studio tour video soon up where we describe all this shit. But yeah, this is the SM7B, and it needs amplifying. But even with amplifying, this is natural sound. You get this Rodecaster Pro, baby, and you will all fucking set. Here we go, some depth and some clarity. Get it. You can take calls, which we want to do on our Patreon podcast that we're going to do. That bothered you.
Yeah.
OCD little bastard. You can take sounds from the computer. You can mute them. You can actually connect a phone and actually play music off that, or clips, or whatever the hell. Audio, I mean. And it has faders for each and one of them, so you can turn the volume down. It has a pad with noises, of course. You know our noises, and if we want to get real funky with it, which other pads do this? Louder. Mute, it has mix minus, it has multi-channel. Like if you want to record this on your computer, you can see this as a mixed file with me and my Paul's voices, but you can also have them split on the timeline and kind of edit each voice the way you want it and remix them afterwards. It has all sorts of shit. You can search for a review. I'm not going to bore the people, but it's an excellent mixer. And if you're thinking about doing something live, please don't get the fucking $200, 200 euro mixer. Just make an effort, raise 500 euros, which I think is the price of this. It's a solid investment. And like I said, the only reason it burned, it didn't even burn, like it has like a brick, like a laptop does, like a power brick that has power surge protection to up to a certain point, but the other two got burned through the USB slot from the computer because the computer was sending them. So they're good shit. Get them. All right, next question.
Is your studio in an office building?
No. This studio is in the place I'm living in. It's a home studio. It's a small little room, but bigger than the one we had, which is good. We have more space to move around. We will be launching, we said this week on Patreon, probably tomorrow we'll put, or Friday, the Romania and Shurubel and Yunus Bodona episode from way back when that people asked for. And next week we could do the episode with the studio. We made an episode a couple of weeks ago with like a half a studio tour. It's filmed on the iPhone on low light, so the quality is shit, but the sound is good, so you guys can get an idea of this place. It's an awesome place. I was able to pad it because I'm paying rent for it, right? And the owner was nice enough to let me pad it and make it into a studio. The walls are high. which you definitely need to kind of hang up lights and have the proper angles and shit and some distance. It's awesome. And the sound is impeccable in this room. Nobody else said nothing?
Where do you get your topics? I'm gonna go and get some water.
Go ahead. The topics for the podcast, I kind of a lot of times think about them 2 minutes ahead. The last ones I did think ahead of it, and obviously the coronavirus one, this one for example, was thought ahead of the one who with the BL lady. She said reaction was obviously I saw the clip a night before. But usually I like just to open this and kind of talk to you guys about the thoughts I had during that week. I don't like to plan too much because I think the naturality of it, even if with the risk of sometimes it being boring, you will enjoy it more. Now, this is a muscle that you have to entertain, even if you did stand up or whatever the fuck, anything like speaking in front of people or in front of the camera, knowing that a lot of people are watching is something you need to train too. And brother was a little bit rusty, but I like this live format because it keeps me on my toes. And even if I know it was like a boring or a technically stupid part of it, then it forces me to get better because I want to present. Obviously, over perfectionism was my problem. And that's why I didn't put out content over the years that often. So this is very freeing for me. I think I mentioned it when we restarted, but I'm thankful that I get to do this in front of you guys. It's very therapeutical for me. And as I listen to other people doing it, talking about it, it eases me. So I have no doubt, at least a part of you can find, I don't know, some sort of resemblance of honesty here. And I always say, like, beware of the honest people. They lie the best, right? That's one of my things that I said in the past. The reason they lie the best is because if you say the truth all the time, then when you do say a lie, people tend to believe you because you keep it honest and you're direct, right? So never believe anybody that says it's honest. But I'm as honest as they get, fucking ladies and gentlemen, just because the fact is I'm willing to tackle all this bullshit. And I talk about sex, and I'm sure we'll get deeper than that. I just want to talk about what makes us human. With the risk of maybe offending you or whatever, sticks and stones, motherfucker. You don't agree with me, fucking close the thing. But things have roots, and I like to explore their roots, even within myself, and then share it with the people because I think I'm made of what you're made, no matter of your skin color or your pussy or dick or whatever the fuck you consider yourself. So there's bound to be some similarities. And if we've not talked about them, then we throw ourselves into general boxes and start the bad type of judgment. Yeah. Let's see what Isaac does. Your Luca. Oh shit! What's up, dude? Is your studio in office? Oh shit! Oh, well, we read this comment already.
I spend more time because I wash my hands properly.
Hey, don't put puns in my mouth. Maybe I didn't want to make a pun, and I'm stupid, so.
Not many comments.
Yeah, I don't think we caught a lot of people tonight, and I get it. People maybe want to enjoy life. I don't see a better time to hug your kid and make love to your girl, unless she's on a period. And make love to your girl in the weekend.
Why
not? Just show love. There's not a better time. So let's go, motherfuckers. Validate all that virtue signaling you've been doing all these years. And let's show them how it's done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's like, honestly, I haven't, speaking of choosing subjects, like that's, I thought there was going to be more traffic, but obviously we need to build an audience before we can converse with them. So there's something you want to talk about? I feel like we still have like about 20 minutes of time.
Oh, you mean we already have an hour?
I know, but the card,
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera card, feels like it's 1 hour and 20 minutes, even more. So, fuck the coronavirus. Let's talk about what else happened this week.
Stinky is an interesting cat. He's a real
Stinky,
he's a real boy.
Stinky, come say hi to the people. What's up, buddy?
Everybody saw that he acts very tough when Joanna is around. Otherwise, he is scratchy, but he scratches you like for real if you get him mad, really mad. But if Joanna is around, it's just gonna bite you out of nowhere.
I think he gets territorial with, when my girl is around. And he gets just an overall asshole vibe. And I can relate. I've been assholey with pretty girls around me. But yeah, he gets way more aggressive. And he still has his balls. He's 10 months old. I don't know if I should castrate him yet. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't piss all over. I got him, like, I was wondering this, dude. Like, people keep saying, like, you have to cut, your cat's balls off. Maybe I will eventually. But he just seems so, like, nice. He goes to his litter. No. He's a teenager, dude. You understand that? He has, like, the equivalent of fucking 12 years now. Whatever the fuck, 7 years, 6 years. He's a child. He doesn't know. You stupid.
6 years, teenager.
Don't bite.
You heard it
Fucking
here first.
I love you. Get the fuck out of here. But I got him this little, like, plush cat, like little fucking toy cat that he fucks all the time, and he goes apeshit and bites her, and like it's full of kitty cum. Like, I feel like maybe people just don't like. Oh, my cat's going crazy. Like especially if he's a male. I get it if she's a female, but if he's a male, like, oh, it's so crazy. Get him something to fuck on. They're not, they can't fuck like dogs. You give a dog your leg. Hey, there you go, buddy. You protect me. You deserve a hump. You can't give your cat. He needs to bite it and get all aggressive and shit.
My dog licks his balls. He's like fucking Marilyn Manson. He sucks himself basically. And I have no problem with that. But the only problem is the fucking noise, because I hear him. And I really try to not hear it.
Hey,
At least the cat he's silent, he's like. But my dog is like. And usually right beside me, he will come up in the bed, and then I will start feeling this, and then he just pushes his back in me.
So he gets some stability to get deep into those balls. Yeah. I guess, they say the smell is half of the flavor, so he really needs to breathe that shit in. So you ever let your dog sniff your balls?
No.
Not even like once? Must have been once. I had dogs. I'm not saying you go every morning and you squat against, overhead,
like
and you're putting your balls in his face. I'm saying what?
No boxers on, or
no, of course. No, I'm not saying put peanut butter on your balls and teabag your dog.
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, you're like sitting on the couch and he comes and he puts his. You have to do. Like, what if that dog needs to know your smell, like, intimately. In case of urgency, he's on his feet. The Stinky just turned off our light. You brought down the magic, Stinky. How dare you? Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. Don't worry. I'm not going to stop you from fixing it. You lazy fuck. What the fuck was I talking about? I forgot. Yeah, man. Maybe somebody's chasing you. You coming fast through your door. That dog needs to fucking smell you. Like, oh shit, that's Master Paul. He feeds me.
Master.
I know that ball stench anywhere. Welcome home. But he doesn't know your balls. Maybe you wear too much, cologne that day. Your balls, man, your balls will always taste the same. Hey, you ever eat a girl's pussy after a few years and it has the same taste?
Yeah. But
did it have the same? Did you notice?
I didn't notice. I mean, yeah, I can recall, but I wasn't paying attention right then and there. Like, I wasn't like, oh my god, this is having the same taste. I just
I meant like
assumed.
aroma, like the whole.
I just assumed the same flavor
Okay,
because the
fair
chocolate
enough.
factory is still there.
You still have stats to I get it. I'm fucking you, buddy. I know you're the king. You're rolling in it. You have a girlfriend, Paul?
Asking asking them big questions. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes,
Does you feel about all this?
about all of this,
Not
the
not
podcast,
not you doing this. The whole situation.
the corona.
Wait a minute. What do you think about the podcast? I
No,
just realized my ego is bigger than the world's.
no. She saw like some parts of the podcast. She likes it, and about the corona is the same. Like she stays
She saw some
informed.
parts. She likes it. It's the same.
She stays informed and don't panic.
Cool.
Hmm.
Are you stable enough to kind of quiet her down? See, I don't want to tell all this shit to my girl. Like, I have some other things. I mean, she's bound to hear. 'Cause I'm going to say it in front of the camera, but I don't want to panic my girl too much. You know what I mean? Like, this is the time to like cut the bullshit and maybe
Yeah.
you know protect your girl a little bit
Yeah.
if you can. Like I said, like kind of like, sure, baby, we're going to Barcelona. Like, let it's okay. You don't have to like. I think tendency for men. That's why I'm worried about religion, right? Is to kind of go like all protect, like over. You know what I mean? You need to protect him also, but also kind of like.
Let them leave and care for themselves.
This went into a, like, if you love her, let her go. Twilight 5 in theaters 2020.
It's not me, it's you. Well, the other way around.
Say it how you mean it, Paul.
Subconscious. You know, just kissing your hand.
Listen, people, I know if you're a regular here on the podcast, I know. It is my podcast, and he can suck a dick. I don't know why I'm telling you to suck a dick. Paul can suck a dick. He doesn't even know. I like to start with the end, so it's kind of like, what is he talking about? I know I don't let Paul talk enough. Sometimes I talk over him. He understands that if I go on my rants and he interrupts me, I lose my thought because I'm doing this as honestly as I can with you guys, right? But sometimes I have to let him talk, and this is the time where I allow him to catch up because I'm going to pee. Thank you.
See the comments. No relevant comments. For me, at least. What do you think about... honest question. What do you think about this podcast? Because I think it was more structured than the other ones. And I want to hear your opinion about it. Because Cosmin, for sure, did some notes. And we saw the video and we kind of had a structure in our head. A plan to follow. So I think we hit all the marks. And I'm curious to see if that translates to you or not. To see if we should still try. I know it's a delay, so I'll just talk to myself for a bit. God damn, this feels lonely with the delay because I'm asking something, but I know by the time they will have the chance to answer, you'll be just back. I asked them if it translates the fact that I think we had a more structured podcast today, with more notes and stuff. Don't you feel the same way?
I do, and I am in a safe space. Thank you. Thank you for expressing your feelings. But it's a more serious subject, and I don't like to. That's why I started with the fact that we're stupid and misinformed, just like the rest of the population, and then kind of like extend the discussion. So I think some subjects are more serious and require preparing, and some subjects we just have to let it rip, so people feel like they're talking to humans, to us. So yeah, some are not planned, but I chose the name Sort of Chaos for a reason, because it is sort of chaos, and I like the idea of me keeping on my toes. It reminds me of my stand-up days, where the audience, you had to like kind of stay in there and keep them interested, or else they get bored. So I have this pressure to kind of, it's a pleasant pressure for me to kind of improve, right? And it's also freeing. It's also sort of chaos because, we try to sort the chaos in our heads, in yours' heads, in the world's. I thought it was a double
Improv.
meaning. Yeah, it's the double meaning that describes the show perfectly. Sort of chaos. Thank you for watching. And this is not the end. I just felt the moment of telling the people I'm grateful.
You're in a safe space. Thank you.
I don't know. Maybe I don't say this enough. Do I? I don't fucking
No.
know. Sometimes I'm too harsh on people, and I expect them to know I'm coming from a good place. So they just, from that point, we're joking like we're good friends,
Yeah.
and I fucking make fun of you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I maybe sometimes I should just take the chance to like,
That's
thank you.
That's
So
really
that's-
key. Like I
I'm trying to
discovered I do that too.
like being.
Like hoping that my appreciation for the other person translates just by me looking at him or her in a certain way, but it doesn't work like that. You just gotta use
Because
words.
people are too fucking concentrated on getting back to their phones, so they don't see your whole fucking reaction. You know how many things I have like this with my girlfriend, dude? Like I always make snarky comments, and I try to make it fun, but sometimes it's in the expression. The punchline
Yeah.
lies into the expression. So she'll just be going past the kitchen, and if we have a little bit of argument, sometimes I try to talk it down. But sometimes if I feel like she's distant and she kind of like doesn't want to, kind of like nothing or whatever the fuck, and she passes by, I say something worse, so I get a reaction of her, and we can get the discussion going. So I play around with it. I'm not always go, okay, let's sit and talk. I'm like, oh yeah, well you're kind of an asshole now. I don't have a clear example, but I'm saying like, what's up with you, fat ass? You know what I mean? But she's in her phone, or she's going towards the kitchen, and I'm making eye contact with me. And based on she's here, she comes out of the kitchen even more pissed. And by that time comes my face. I can't just be like this with jazz hands, expecting her to come back from the kitchen and see that I was joking. You know what I mean?
I know.
So maybe that's why it doesn't translate. Dude, am I yelling? Let me put my fucking headphones back on.
You're yelling just
I'm
like
always
it did
yelling.
before.
Yeah, I'm always yelling.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, because I discovered this thing I discovered in my last relationship. Like I don't like using. I thought that words are just kind of cheesier, more cheaper way to translate a feeling just by like using your vibe, your energy through your eyes.
I see.
But turns out you gotta use words, because
It's dude, you can overuse words,
true.
and that's the death of passion. That will fucking over talking, over arguing with your girl. There's a balance, I believe. We should all strive to achieve, and you have to mix it up. Yeah, some is energy, some what you describe as energy. I describe it as contrast. Some of our good friends describe it as tension, right? You gotta create that contrast and snap her out of it, and kind of like tell her like, I'm here, I'm present. See, I'm on it. I'm not letting this be an argument that's never discussed and forgotten, but there's like an injury there inside your soul, and in 5 years you don't realize why. You don't feel any passion for me, but it's 1,000 of those little things. But I don't just always like sit her down and talk like, oh, this is how it fucking like. Sometimes this is some time for that, some cool like, baby, sit down. I love you. I want to build a future with you. What are you, fucking crazy? Like, I don't take you for granted, but I'm also not, I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna flirt with girls. You flirt with boys, whatever the fuck. So I'm dressing jealousies. I'm dressing everything. Luckily, I found a very intelligent and woman, right? So she understands. But yeah, you gotta mix it up. Sometimes it's a contrast, which you create with jokes, with sexuality, with taking lead. You know what I mean? So you allow her to be feminine. I'm starting to sound like my friend Brian, but. Shout out to him if he's watching. But yeah, you do have to show up. I think that's the word. Show up so she can play her part too.
Somebody asked me, Somebody said that you helped us with the Red Bull. Can you make it movie clip? And asked me if how the how the experience changed me, and if I still keep in touch with my colleagues from the competition. Of course, they are one of my two of my best friends.
Let's put some context for the people because this will be hopefully in a few months live on Spotify and iTunes and everything. But I created for my colleague Paul back when he was in uni, first year, I think, or was it the second year? There was this Red Bull competition that they, Can You Make It, it was called, and it was this kind of like crazy race around Europe, and all they had was Red Bull cans and no phones, and they were supposed to reach a point.
Much like Asia Express.
I didn't want to say it. And to qualify, they had to make a film, and I'm charitable. I'm trying not to be because it's wasting my fucking time. So nowadays, I'm not that charitable anymore because I'm busy and my clients already are fucking waiting, and I want to respect them. But back then, I even said that after that fucking project, it took me like I think a week of not sleeping and just Red Bull and smoking, and that's it. I said that was the last like huge effort. I still try to help out, of course, with small little shoots and whatever, but I made like a super dope clip. We can find it on my channel. It's in a playlist called Vlogs, I think, or Other Work, or I fucking forget. And it was pimping, and they got qualified, and yeah.
Yeah, 13th place. It's a very long ass topic, but yeah, basically from that experience, I just figured that since we did that, not almost nothing that can happen like in first world countries. Now, I'm not talking India where you can actually die because you're poor, but I'm talking in this society. You can you can recover from basically anything because we didn't have money, we didn't have anything, and we managed to get some food, get some sleep, get some hospitality and stuff like that. So basically just gave me confidence in my own abilities to pass through shit. And yeah, I keep in touch with, as I said, they're two of my best friends. So
Yeah,
keep in touch regularly.
One of them is Arya, the girl who you guys must know from my older shows. And she has her own channel now. She stopped posting because she's in between moving back in the country from the university. But she is trying to have restart her vlog, which is called Arya cu Gânduri for our Romanian listeners, which is 95% of y'all. And it's her just speaking out and trying to tell her story. Definitely, I recommend you watching her videos and encouraging her because she has potential and all she has to do is follow through. Arya cu Gânduri. Leave her a comment. Send her
some love.
Send her some love. Right. I think this about does it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. You can find Paul on Instagram with the handle @PaulDovan. I am @Romercial. Join us next Wednesday from 8 p.m. GMT plus 2 for another talk, hopefully as zen as this one, because I have a very good vibe ending it. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Peace.